Hello, this is my blog walkthrough for my rental apartment living blog. So I wanted to talk first about my blog target. So to go through the target, the demographics would be people ages 18 to 30 years old, probably mostly female, although there could be a couple males. They're generally going to be making 50,000 a year or less. They're going to be college students or people that are living in a rental still. So it's kind of generally people that are on a lower budget and aren't owning a home yet, and things like that. Going into the description, like I said, they're living on a tight budget. They're currently renting an apartment, and they aren't likely to purchase a home anytime soon. I think that really is important for the target market because if they are in the process of buying a home or aren't going to stay in their apartment for a very long time, they're probably not going to take a lot of time to really transform their apartment and decorate it and all that stuff. Like they're not going to care as much about how their apartment looks, and that's a big thing of what the target market is these people care about how their apartment looks, and it's hard for them to be in a rental apartment because it's not something that they really wanted. It's not like the apartment of their dreams. In terms of social media, because they're younger, they're very active on social media, and they usually find information through social media. So they're going to be going to places like YouTube and Pinterest to find answers for things, whether through blogs or YouTube videos, how-tos, things like that. So if they're going to be looking for design tips and how best to kind of decorate their apartment, they're going to head to those two sites, I think. And so using Pinterest to promote my blog posts and my blog is probably something that I want to do. They also rely on the advice of influencers and YouTubers a lot. I know I personally follow a lot of influencers and YouTubers, and I kind of take what they say into account, and I know a lot of other people my age and in my situation do, and I think partnering with influencers to try and get my blog out there and awareness is something that is really important because the advice and the word of the influencers is something that my target market really holds high in their um, thinking. In terms of positioning, I kind of did a lot of different research about blogs out there. I started this blog because I wanted to I'm kind of part of my target market, and I wanted to find ideas on how to transform my apartment and kind of make it prettier. And there were a lot of different blogs out there that covered the same type of material with decorating tips, organization tips, rental logistics, kind of how to deal with deposits, how to get your deposit back, sometimes like the logistics of actual renting, insurance and stuff like that. But the difference would be the perspective that I write it. I think that's very important. A lot of them are kind of focusing more. They have design stuff, but it's also kind of about apartment life, and I think mine will focus more on design stuff, but also my my position as a renter because I am my target market. I think I have a unique position to be able to target them because I'm going through their experiences. And I mentioned that throughout many of my posts is that I'm doing this and this is what I have found. And I think that perspective from a person who's in their position and has had these same problems and found a solution and is telling these people the solution, I think that people will like the authenticity and the like that they can relate to me and that I can relate to them. I'm in the same experience as them, and I want to write about those experiences and how I've kind of made the best out of my own apartment. And I want to create good content that actually fits their situation. I think a lot of design blogs in general, and Pinterest, they kind of show these apartments and homes that are just not normal homes. Like no one's going to be actually living in them. They're not really obtainable, and that's kind of disheartening to look at when you're looking at your own apartment and seeing these unattainable homes or apartments. And I want to create and show in my blog posts and content that this stuff that I'm talking about, that I'm writing about, is actually attainable. It's budget friendly. It's something that you can do as a renter. It's not completely out of what the ordinary or completely ridiculous. So I want to be able, that I think is my biggest unique selling point, is that I relate to the target market and I'm writing in a way that they can actually implement my tips without trying to blow their budget, or they in a rental apartment where they really can't change anything, they can still implement these things. And so let's kind of head over to my blog and I will walk you through that. So this is my home page. I kind of have this welcome banner, and then it goes into some of my featured posts in my blog feed. It has a couple, a featured one of my first blogs, and then my most recent blog. Then you can subscribe here, and then I have my search widget where you can search my posts, and then I have my categories, so everything that I've categorized the different blogs, so you can kind of find blog posts that are related to that. So this is design, everything that I have written about that. So this is my About Me section. I have this photo here, and then I've written about why I've chosen this blog and kind of how I've come to love interior design, and my reasons for starting this. My frequently asked questions, they kind of have to do with why I'm qualified to talk about design, where I get my tips, kind of the financial investments needed, my house scene situation, why I like decorating. I've also linked to different posts within that because of I have a post that's talking about this question in particular. And then this is my blog feed. So I kind of I could categorize my my posts into organization tips, design tips, and then kind of small little outliers that have to deal with designs and decorations and stuff like this. So this is 3 easy ways to maximize a small space. A lot of times these apartments that we're renting, they're going to be small and you're not going to have a lot of storage space, so you have to figure out the best way to kind of work with all of that. So I have those tips. And then this is my how-to video, 3 tips on how to best decorate shelves. I think there's different design tips that you can use and design principles that make your shelves look better and look more aesthetically pleasing as a design piece in your home. One big thing is when you move in together with your significant other or get married, you're kind of trying to figure out how to decorate an apartment together and so on. And those are kind of some interesting things that I've written about. This is my blog. I wanted to, and my goal with this blog is to help people find ways that they can learn to love their space that they're living in. I think that's a huge part of living in a rental apartment and making some place your home, is that you love it and you learn and you create it and you just like going home and it's not something that you hate anymore. So this is my blog.